Nice.
I'm back, and I'm here to objectify more X-Men. On this week's episode, Gambit. Not this one, obviously, the crop top wearing one. If you're new here, hi, welcome. I'm Rue, and I obsess over cartoon characters to the point where the only remaining option is to put them on a nail set. For these ones I'm going with a long square tip. To prep the nail, I file off the burr at the top and shape them, and then buff the surface to make sure the nail varnish doesn't peel off. After that, I brush the dust off and wipe them clean with an alcohol wipe. As always, I don't have a plan, but I do have a vibe that I'm going for, and that's the glowing pink cards. So I'm starting off with a layer of neon pink, and then I'm covering it up with black. That way when you flip the nail over, you get a pop of colour. I'm using white gel pots to paint on the cards, and I'm going to do 3 cards per hand. I'm going for a trapezoid shape so it looks like they're coming out towards you. For the swoosh, I'm lining them up and drawing a practice line, and then going back over each nail to make that line thicker and adding crackly lightning detail. Once my white base is all done, I'm going over with a pink neon polish to highlight. I'm completely covering the white and also going a little bit over the edge, and this is what gives it that glowing effect. Next I'm going over with a thinner line of white, which makes the swoosh look really bright. For the playing cards themselves, I used a really thin liner brush to paint on tiny A's and tiny symbols. To be honest, I don't really want to talk about it, it was really hard. But then I did the same glowing effect around the outsides of the playing cards, and I also added a really sheer layer of neon pink to the cards. Finishing off these with a matte top coat, and then I repeated this process for the other hand but in reverse. Here you can see on me as a beautiful hand model that pop of pink. So the 2 thumbnails are going to be portraits of Gambit, and I'm starting off with the smaller portrait because I know this is the one that's going to stress me out the most, and I'm getting it out the way. To do the tiny features of the face, I'm using the thinnest brush that I have, or had, because I've recently bought myself an even thinner one. And I like using gel stamping polishes for this because they're really opaque and I think easy to work with. They don't self-level, and I think that makes them easier to blend. For his clothing, I'm switching to regular self-leveling polish. This is because the colour blocks are larger and I don't really need to do that much fine detail. Here's the incredibly scientific way that I colour match, which I call trial and error. But obviously Gambit's hair is a thing of beauty, so it had to be right. So here's me checking him out, thinking, yeah, I'm happy with that. Going to top coat, and then oh my god, his ears! That was very, very close. And with a swift, nobody would even spot it, detour, I added in his ears and then did a top coat. Because this portrait took quite a lot of layers, I'm also buffing it smooth, then adding a second top coat to make sure it's really flat. And this is the final hand all together. And I'm extra proud of this portrait because when I was taking pictures later on, it got face recognised, which has never happened to me before, so that was pretty sweet. So on to portrait number 2, and for this one I'm going a bit more simple and just doing a frame of his eyes, which are red because of course they're iconic. But also as a lover of the original cartoon, I genuinely am scarred by this version. I just have so many questions for whoever actually okayed this character design. He also has a fierce set of eyebrows, and as someone who was a teenager in the noughties, if there's one thing I can do, it's draw on a good pair of eyebrows. For this portrait I'm using the paint pots again so I can get that full coverage in just one layer. This one was nice and quick, and before I knew it I was finishing off the outline. Lastly putting on a matte top coat, and he's all done. Clearly the camera couldn't handle this much awesome because it wouldn't focus, but it doesn't matter because here's the final beauty shot. This set was so much fun to make, which you can tell by this ungodly mess I made. As always, these are up for sale on my Etsy shop, link down below. Just don't tell Disney. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and a comment, and subscribe for more incredibly niche nail art. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.